Seems so 1950s. Turns out today's feminists feel that it is radical and empowering to actually stay home and raise the kids. We first told you about the story on Monday. According to New York Magazine, more women think that the truly feminist choice is to give up your career.
So the article contends it's kind of like a backlash against the last 20 years of you've got to get out there and you've got to succeed in the business world.
Something and break that
sacrifice it all for career. So Dr. Audrey Nelson, we wanted to invite her on, one of my favorites, to talk about whether the retro wife is really a thing, and is it feminist?
Sure. You know, the whole category of feminist gets tricky.
Right.
In my first book, I wanted to use the word, and Prentice Hall treated it like it was the other F word.
Right.
I was not allowed to use it. That is what a triggering word it is. What feminism means is we have choices, and that's what's important. So I read the article. I also saw the woman who was featured in the article interviewed by Huffington Post.
Right.
So I researched it, and I have a couple of things to say.
Lay it on us.
One is, I think men should feel insulted. My husband was insulted. He feels that he did a great job with our two children, nurturing them, taking them to the doctors, got Alexandra into horses.
Do you mean because you were involved in your career and he was spending the time?
No, he was a pilot. We were both involved in our careers.
What is there to be
but
insulted by?
in the article, it was said that really women are the better nurturers.
I see.
I don't think that's true.
It depends on the couple.
I think it depends on the couple. I think men are capable of taking care of children, getting them to the dentist, the soccer game. My husband, who never had a horse, I grew up with him, learned how to give Ghost Dancer a bath. You know, he learned how to handle a horse so Alexandra could horse show. So I think men should feel a little insulted. I think I came from a household with a June cleaver.
Right.
My mother never worked a day in her life until my dad dropped dead at 36 unexpectedly. And she was an immigrant bride, World War II, never worked a day outside the home with 3 children, left holding the bag. So I had what I called Sunday fathering, because my dad was an executive. When my dad died, I felt like I didn't know who he was. I love seeing these 30-year-old men today, like at the Colorado Athletic Club, pushing their children around in a car. So I overheard 2 men talking about how to handle their 2-year-old when they're always saying no.
So your biggest issue, it seems to me, is that you want to make sure that the dads still are highly involved.
Part of it, both men and women can do this job. The article says, oh, really, it's a woman's job. Secondly, I think the most important thing to know is we have choices. I have women friends who've done everything. Some stay home for a while. Once the child gets going in school, you know, they have 8 or 8:30 to 3:30 free. Then they go back and do things. There's a reason why there's been a huge influx of women-owned and started businesses. I'm one of them.
So you have flexibility.
You have flexibility.
You know, Audrey,
you have choices.
And I'm at a place like that in my life, making some changes
Absolutely.
too. But I really feel like the return of the retro life, if we just look at it that way, is that we don't have anything to prove. Like, if we want our careers to be big and we want to make it, that we can. And we've proven that as women. We've broken the glass ceiling. So have some ways to do that.
And I think, Natalie, that's where, I think that's where the feminists are going. Is, quite frankly, as a career woman, and I had 2 children, I don't define myself just by my career. I'm happy where Alexandra and Armand are in their lives. I'm very proud of both of them. So I think I've done a pretty good job on both. Have I been tired?
To have the choices.
Yes, to have the choice. Third is, I also...
Audrey, I'm sorry, we're out of time. We're going to talk more next time. We could talk all day.
I know.
I do love when you come on, and thank you for the insights into this. So the idea is, you know, retro life, great, but it shouldn't actually exclude the dads in all of this.
And by the way, the Gender Communication Handbook is Dr. Audrey Nelson's new book. You can find it at bookstores near you and on Amazon.com.